Welcome to Classic Gamer 74, episode 24. I'm your host, Anthony Ventrilo, and today I'm going to discuss Mat Mania by Taito. Anyone who's known me for a decent amount of time knows that I'm a big wrestling fan. My love for wrestling started back in 1983 when I saw the first Starrcade, in which my childhood hero Ric Flair beat Harley Race in a steel cage match to win the NWA World Championship. And since that time, I've loved everything and anything wrestling. And one of the first video games that I ever played that was a wrestling game had to be Mat Mania. Alright, in this game, you are wrestling as you, a typical babyface wrestler from the 80s, for the Taito Wrestling Association, and you're working your way up through the rankings to get a shot at the World Champion. Alright, the wrestler that you play is actually patterned after the wrestler the Dynamite Kid, whose real name was Tom Billington, because in some versions of the game he is called Dynamite Tommy, and a lot of the moves he uses are similar to those that the Dynamite Kid used during his heyday. Between matches you have Corey, who is the stereotypical ring announcer from the 80s, telling you who your next opponent is going to be on your way to becoming world champion. However, this game is not best remembered for its great graphics or its fluid controls or the fun of the wrestling event. It is most well known for the way the referee counts. Not only was the protagonist based on an actual wrestler, but so are several of your opponents. So let's check out the game and see what it's like. Alright, your first opponent in this game is Insane Warrior, who is modeled after Road Warrior Animal. Your best offense in this game is to pretty much stay moving. Don't stand still, and just keep hitting. Remember that your two best moves are the pile driver and the suplex, and you can't use them too early in the match. You kind of got to build your way up to those. Also, the high flying move off the top rope is also a great move to use, but again, also it's one you kind of got to wait for. So anyone who's been a wrestling fan for any amount of time can kind of see the similarity between Dynamite Tommy and, the Dynamite Kid, especially back in his days of wrestling in Stampede and in New Japan. Your next opponent is Karate Fighter, who is modeled after the wrestler most well known for wrestling in World Class Championship Wrestling during the 80s, that being the Great Kabuki. And this character was also the later concept for the character Chin in the NES Double Dragon game. Alright, your next opponent is Coco Savage. And I know that sounds a little un-PC, but let's remember it was the 80s and it was not uncommon to have a wrestler that portrayed a ethnic stereotype. So anyway, the wrestler is patterned after the legendary Bobo Brazil, whose finishing move was the Coco Butt, and of course Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Fans and critics alike consider him to be the most difficult wrestler on the game, and I totally have to agree. It took me forever to beat this guy. Your next opponent was the Piranha, who was modeled after the masked Rudo, Mil Mascaras. He uses a lot of illegal moves like choking and eye gouging. Alright, and finally you get your title shot against Golden Hulk. Of course, I think you can tell who this character has been modeled after. Hulk Hogan, and of course a mixture of Bruiser Brody. Nope, the boots. He uses the leg drop of Doom and a one-arm body slam as his finishing moves. Yeah, I know that's not even trying. But anyway, so after you beat Golden Hulk, you are presented with the championship in a ceremony similar to what they do in Japan. And then you go on to defend the championship until you get tired and run out of gas, or until you lose a match. As popular as the game was, it was not ported out until 5 years later for the Atari 7800. Although the game was about as loyal as you could possibly get to the arcade game, with the limited memory that the 7800 had, the game got really bad reviews. Most of the characters were actually not in the game, and it was generally considered a flop. In my opinion, I think Mat Mania, along with WWF Superstars and WrestleFest, are sacred games and should be just left in their arcade format, but that's just me. Alright, so let's back to the regular Mat Mania game. One of the cool things about this game is that you see a lot of cameos of famous people and cultural icons around the ring. If you look carefully, you'll see Superman, Batman and Robin, ZZ Top, Popeye, Alien, Stevie Wonder, John Travolta, the Jackson 5, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Darth Vader, and Princess Leia. So while you're playing the game sometime, see if you can spot everybody in the crowd. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to click that little bell icon so that you'll be informed when I upload new videos, as I try to upload new episodes every 3 to 4 days. If you know of a particular game or genre of games that you would like to see reviewed on this channel, don't forget to let us know in the comments section below, and who knows, you may actually see that on a particular episode. Well, until next time, this is Anthony Ventrilo saying have a nice day, and thank you for stopping by. See you next time. Goodbye.